If you are watching this video, you are most likely coming to it from the Capture One tutorial videos myself and David Grover filmed to show how Capture One Mobile works. Now we show you how to, obviously showed you how to set up sessions, we showed you how to connect your camera, what happens during the shoot and what happens after, but we didn't really talk about the setup. Now I have had so many questions, DMs, messages, specifically about the setup. So I thought I'd do this very, very quick little video to run you through how I have my location iPad set up. Now, the whole thing is based on Avenger rolling stands, and yeah, it's just a great thing. I love having kind of rolling stands in the studio. It's really easy to just move things around. Don't have to pick anything up. It's just convenient. Not that I'm lazy, I just quite like convenience, bluntly. So on top of the stand, we've got an Avenger D200, which is standard knuckle. And in that knuckle, we have an Amaran baby pin to 3/8 with locating pin adapter. Now, the reason I use locating pins on pretty much everything is that it just makes everything super secure. I know it's not going to twist. I know it's not really going to come loose. For me, that's what I try and do on most of this kit. Now, let's talk about the iPad itself. I use I think this is actually just an M1. I just use the kind of the standard M1 iPad Pros. I tend to get the ones with the big memory. I find it much easier to constantly shoot to the iPad rather than SSD, but we will get to that. Let's come down before I forget to the bottom of the stand. Now, I think you guys can see that in this video. Let me come back a little bit. The thing here that I got that I think probably one of the most comments about was the camera hoop. Now, the camera hoop is a really nice thing. It is a super, super easy way to just store your camera. It saves you having to put it on the floor, everything like that. And that is just it's by a company called First Digi from Berlin. And it's a really brilliant camera hoop, just secures to the stand with a super clamp. Talking of super clamps, I have down here on the super clamp, always will have a hook with some cables, whether it's a spare cable or whether it's one that I'm using currently. The ones I use most, because I asked my then 3-year-old to choose my gaff tape color for all my equipment, and she decided that neon pink was my thing. So I use these cables by Rock Cameras. Thank you very much, Liam. And I also will use these ones as well, Area 51. And so, yes, they're both excellent cables. And yeah, this camera hoop though is just a wonderful thing. And it's just really nice, snug and secure when your camera's in it. So let's come up and talk about the iPad. We've talked about the iPad itself, but I wanted to kind of talk about what it is based around. So my friend Limanus, LS Digi, has made this amazing iPad cage, and it has just got just adjustments you can make everywhere. It's got 3/8 locating pins, 1/4-20s. It is so nicely machined with such a good attention to detail. And it also, if you buy the kit, comes with a lovely shade which velcros on, and it's a very, very clever one because it works both in portrait and landscape orientation, which is brilliant. Now, in the Capture One video, I had it kind of quite basic. We had an SSD, a battery, and a hub. Now, on this one, this is kind of how I would have it set up for a job, really, for me. And I've also included a little extra for the end, which you might kind of wonder what this is, but we'll talk about that. So everything is bolted onto the LS Digi cage, and it's really good. Before I get onto that though, I've missed a bit, so we haven't talked about that. Now that here is my quick release. So I can literally just lift the whole thing off the stand and walk around with it. And it's quite useful if you're shooting, for example, and you suddenly go, right, okay, I'm gonna go over and show the makeup artist, or I'm gonna go over and show the client. It's really, really helpful. So, and that is, it's quite basic, actually. I know these are made by kind of all sorts of companies. I know Condor Blue have got some. These are by a brand called Hangton, I think. And it's, it literally is a little quick release plate, slides on, clicks in, everything's good. Now, the reason people might be like, why have you got it right down at the bottom? Well, glad you asked. So I can now see at the front, if this silver thing is down and I can see it, I know it's locked in. If, however, it's there and you can't see it, well, the iPad can get picked up and just come off the stand. So it's a nice visual thing for me to be able to check that it is all locked in and in place. Right, let's talk about the back of this plate. What we've got here is I quite like it. Basically, let me run you through a couple of the little things. So on the very bottom here, we have Peak Design anchors, and that is for when I take this off and I'll wear it. So I can wear it down there, and you can see here I have a 2-meter cable. So when I am shooting, you know, I'll do a lot of shoots where I am kind of running around a location and we have to kind of hit up a lot of places quite quickly. So it's much easier for me to just wear all of this and have it down by my side than it is to have it on sticks or a stand and constantly move an extra bit of kit. So I have that, and a 2-meter cable means that I'm not kind of swamped in like loads and loads of cable. So that is that one. Now that cable comes into like a generic AliExpress tether lock plate, which basically winds the cable up and around there, and then it locks it in. So it basically saves any strain on the cable into the hub. Now the hub is made by a brand called Pulvertop, and this was on Amazon, I think for like $20 or like £20. It wasn't very expensive, but the reason I wanted this one is, again, LS Digi to the rescue. He makes a little cage for it, which bolts straight onto the plate, so you know it is super solid, not going anywhere. So with the LS Digi cage kit, you actually get a one of these thin little power cables, which is brilliant. They're super, super flexible and really, really handy to just kind of run them around, keep everything out of the way. So the cable comes up through here. This could be my tether cable, or it could be my kind of the shorter tether cable. It depends on how the setup's going to work. The nice thing about, you know, the iPad setup is it really can, so modular, you can kind of build it for whatever job you really need to do. It's really flexible. So the cable comes up here into the hub. Now the hub takes the power from the battery. So we've got USB-C out on this, and this is a small rig 50 watt-hour battery. I like them because they're really thin, small, light, and they charge over USB-C nice and quick. And the power comes out of there straight down into the hub. Now, obviously we talked about this in the video. If you need a hub, you need one that has got USB-C power delivery out. Now this one does. So what's really nice is I pull the cable out of that, and it kind of runs. Let me move the hard drive. The cable for this runs down here through under the battery, and then when, again, with the LS Digi kit, there is a very low profile 180-degree connector. Let me see if I can remove the handle quickly. So you can see 180 degrees. So it actually just takes the USB-C from the iPad, flips it straight back there, and the gauge on it, or the measurement on it, is so precise. And this is 140 watts and 20 gig. So you are not going to be short of power or speed. So that's nice. Coming around to the back again. So we talked about the cable, we talked about the hub. This is the battery. Now the battery sits on a little LS Digi little V-lock mount, which is a really nice thing. Now I have the handle here to protect the release. So it basically means that it shouldn't ever release accidentally. And the nice thing about that, when it's locked in, you saw how easy that was. Done. Down here, now these hard drives that I use, the SanDisk Professionals, these are the G40s. Now they do not work with hubs because they are a direct connection. So they do work with the iPad, but they don't work with the hubs. But like I said earlier, I actually tend to shoot straight into the iPad anyway. So this really is a convenience fitting for me. So what I do is literally just pop the, at the end of the shoot, or whenever I need to back up, I'll pop it there, connect it straight into the iPad, get it copying over, done. And then yes, that's basically the setup, but I do want to quickly show you this. Now, why would you need a wireless receiver on this? So sometimes if you are running a shoot where you need multiple client reviews and stuff like that, it can be a really nice setup to just run this and that. And the cool thing about this stuff, so I use the Axoon CineView HE and SE kit, and have done for ages. I actually got one of the M7 Pros up there as well, and because I've really bought into the system. The cool thing about this is obviously you can power it through the hub, nice touch, but then here on this side is this USB out here. It's actually not a USB out. It's a USB-C connector, but it's a UVC out. So what's very cool about that is you can connect that straight into the iPad, and then using an app called Genki Studio, you can then run that monitor as you run that iPad as an external monitor. So it will take whatever feed you get from here and then display it in the Genki app. And yeah, that is basically my iPad setup. Loads of little bits, loads of flexibility, and yeah, it's worked really well for me for a very long time, and I've been really, really pleased with it. So I've been shooting for it with an iPad for ages actually, but I'm really glad obviously now Capture One I bought in sessions. It makes my life infinitely easier. And yeah, it's a really, really nice way of being quite modular and lightweight, and yeah, good little bit of kit. So I also want to show you how it would be if I was wearing it on a job. So what I'll do, I'll take this apart, get rid of that, pull this in. Now this is my trusted Peak Design strap. Now you know I have the anchors straight in on this. So connect them in, flip that up, boom. And then obviously, I don't know what the iPad's doing on the microphone, but what I'll do, oh, I should probably also mention this little strap that I have is from Area 51. And right, I don't have my tether plate because I'm obviously filming with that camera, but to give you an idea, we'll just put the thing in there. So now you can see how mobile I am. You know, I don't have to worry about any of this really. I can just kind of walk around, everything's nice and tethered, and it's just a nice free way of being able to tether. Now also got these lovely handles on the side, so you can look at the shot and go, okay, cool, well, we'll get back to it. So for me, a really, really nice way of doing it. And it's also great if you want to be showing people around, stuff like that. The whole thing just works really nicely, keeps it super lightweight, and yeah. You see how easy it is to go from strap to stand. Whoops. Really nice way of working, and yeah. For me, it's all about just creating like really flexible bits of kit, and this being as modular as it is, and just being able to just, you know, plonk it on and off the stand, plonk it on and off me, is a, yeah, it's a great way of working. I really like it. So yeah, so hopefully that has answered some of your questions, and well, it should do, because there's no other kit on it. So if you've got any other questions, please just leave a comment below. I'll do my very best to reply to you, and yeah, hope you found it useful.